All right. Welcome to the Path to Billionaire Success Story, the podcast that takes you on a journey through stories, strategies, and insights of remarkable individuals who have achieved greatness in their field. I am your host, Ben Petrowski, and together we'll unravel the secrets, challenges, and triumphs that pave the way to success. Join us each week as we uncover the principles that can help you overcome obstacles, embrace change, and harness your potential. Get ready to be motivated, challenged, and empowered to embark on your very own path to success. Remember, success is not a destination, it's a journey. So buckle up and get ready to explore. Today, we're joined by Ossie. Would you like to tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, what you've been working on, where you come from, things like that, and just give us a brief
Yeah,
rundown?
yeah, definitely. So my name's Ossie, originally from London, now living out in Dubai. I'm 24 years old, and I currently work as a foreign exchange broker. So helping businesses, high net worth and ultra high net worth individuals change money between different currencies and cryptocurrency. A bit about me: I was a former martial artist, so I studied kung fu and Chinese kickboxing. I went to China, competed for Team GB, and had quite a lot of success around martial arts, and then kind of used that to channel myself into work and growing and developing myself. Worked in a few different industries, and now kind of hit the nail on the one that I enjoy the most. So it's been really interesting. And now out in Dubai, joined the 10x community recently and started getting on my 10x buzz. And that's where I met the amazing Ben, who I'm interviewing right now. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. And I'm sure that more stories will come out as the interview goes and just, yeah, getting chatting really.
For sure. I appreciate you taking the time and joining us here today. What does success mean to you personally, and how do you define it?
Um, I think everyone's got a different goal of success. Some people's is like numerical value. They want to hit $1 million, $100 million, whatever it is. I think success for me personally and what I'm striving to work towards is having freedom. I'm 24 now. By the time I have a wife and children, success to me is to be able to go to my children when they come into the room and say, "Can we do this today?" Is not to be so stressed with work where I say, "I can't, I have to go to work today." Is having the ability to do what I want when I want and having that freedom to go, "Do you know what? We can take a Tuesday off and I'm spending time with my family." So for me, that's what I'm working towards, is having a beautiful home and having the ability to be able to do that and spend that time with my children, because I grew up in an environment where my family were immigrants that moved over from Turkey and Cyprus to the UK. My dad worked, my mum worked. I've seen it my whole life. So I want to be able to have the life where I have the ability to go, "Do you know what? I don't need to be at work today. I can have the freedom to go and spend time and make memories and have fun with my family." So that for me is my version of success.
I love it. That's a great definition of success. Has your definition of success changed and evolved over time since you've grown into your to the field that you're in now?
Definitely. I mean, like when I was younger, success for me was always, I think, like most people, they deem success as just money. Like they link the two together. And although I agree 100%, you can't have success without money, but my mindset of money has completely changed. It's not the be all and end all. Money is a fantastic tool that allows you to do these amazing things. And when I was younger, I was so obsessed over hitting a specific volume of amount, earning my first 100, then 1,000, then £10,000. And as I've got older and started earning more money, what I started to realize was the money's the tool that allows you to do the great things that you want to do, whether it be investing in yourself, going on holidays, buying that car or watch or whatever it may be. So my
Mhm.
mindset has changed. It wasn't earning £1 million. It was, right, I want to live this life and have a yacht, for example. Okay, well, for me to get there, I need to earn this money. That's the journey. That's the part of it. But the success is that final destination. And that's what's changed as I've gotten older.
Nice, very nice. So, and to be so young to see that already is a great accomplishment in itself. Like
Thank
so
you.
so keep going on that journey. You'll be amazed at where it's going to lead you. It's really great to see young people starting out and doing the steps that I'm doing here at 40 years old. Like, that's great. Keep it up.
Thank you. I mean, a big part of it is who I've had around me. Like, I've been very fortunate with the people that's been around me my whole life. So I'm a big believer of it's your environment. That's what makes or breaks you. If you're hanging around with people that eats McDonald's every day, you're going to end up eating McDonald's. If you hang around people that go running every day, you're going to be a runner. Like, it's your environment. And because of the martial arts background, I've always been around people that are really disciplined, that are really focused, and that want to excel and be great. So I wouldn't be where I'm now if I didn't have, the parenthood that I had from my mum and dad, but also my coaches as well. Like, the reason why I'm in Dubai now is because of my martial arts coach and his wife. I wouldn't
Okay.
be here without them. So they were the ones that inspired me, shifted to have that change. So I wouldn't be having that mindset if I wasn't around the right people to lead me in the right direction. I didn't wake up and go, bang, I know what I want to do, because who does that? No one wakes up and goes, I know what to
Right.
do. It just doesn't happen. So a big part of my success today was that I've surrounded myself with the right people with the similar mindset to get to where I am, because we spur each other on to be in the right direction and not do all of the, I wouldn't say wrong things. There's nothing wrong. It depends on what you want, but
Right.
all of the things that I didn't want. So, that's a big part of it.
Right. That's awesome. Like Grant Cardone says, your net worth is your network. And your
100%.
net worth isn't just money. It's your
Exactly.
personality, your spirituality, your
Exactly.
community. Like if you surround yourself with the good people, different things are going to come to you. So,
100 million%. But it goes back to the point, right? What do you deem as success, and what do you want? If you want to be a skateboarder, then you hang around with skateboarders. Just because that's
hmm,
not my version of success doesn't mean that's right or wrong.
right.
But it's just not for me. So I'm very fortunate that I've cultivated over the years the right network. Like, even my best friends, their version of success is polar opposites to mine, but they're working towards that. So it's good to have them around, because they then add different attributes. So it's just having the right people there, what is right for you.
Yeah, no, I think you hit a good point right there. Is just because people's version of success isn't the same as yours doesn't mean you can't still be friends. You can't keep them around. You can't
Yeah,
interact with them. It's just you have to know that they're not on the same journey, but your
100%.
paths are going to keep crossing throughout the time as long as you keep working towards that goal. So
Definitely.
that's
Definitely.
awesome. That's awesome to hear. Like, just the way you put it just resonated for me. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can give a great example. My best friend, we've been friends since the first day that we went to university, but he likes to work in corporate. He's very successful over it. Like, he's earning over 100,000 plus a year, but he wants to be in the corporate world, going to the nice dinner meetings and having that lifestyle. For him, that is his success. He works really hard. His ethics are phenomenal and his attributes are crazy, like the man hours that he puts in. But that's his version of success. That's what he wants. But we still talk to each other pretty much every day. We still share advice. We still give each other the right motivation to keep going, because we're still working towards success. It's just that his different endpoint is
Mhm.
not the same as mine. So it really ties back to that. But it's hanging around the right people that have got the right work ethic and morals as well is a really big one.
A big one, very big one. Yes. Yeah. If you're not ethical and work towards with your morals, like that, all that stuff, whatever you gain
Yeah,
is not going to last. You're not going to feel the same as if you do it the right way. So,
1 million%. I couldn't agree more.
yeah. What role do you believe that luck or timing has played in your success that you're in now?
I don't really believe in luck, to be honest with you. I believe in karma. I think that whatever you do or whatever you put out is what you receive. If you're always negative, bad things are always going to happen. If you're always positive, you always see the good in things and good things will happen. I don't think there's luck per se in it. It's just whatever you're putting in is what you're going to get out. It's like
Mhm.
if you run a marathon and you train every day for it and you complete it under 4 hours, that's not luck that you did it under 4 hours. You put in all of the hard work and effort, then you've got there. It wasn't by luck. You didn't just roll out of bed and go, I'm running a marathon and you smash it sub 4 hours. It's not how it works. And I think with life, it's more about timing than luck. But you just need to keep on putting in the right effort and putting in the right hard work. And I'll be the first one to say I'm not perfect. I'm not consistent every single day, but I don't lie to myself about that. I'm really realistic and I'm honest
Right.
with that. So if you're having the real right intentions and you're realistic with yourself and you're being honest, you will still feel that way and you still have the right momentum and the right success. But I
Mhm.
do think timing is everything as well. Like if we look at some of the 10x's, right? Some of them have been doing 10x for a year and they've already smashed millions of pounds every year. But you could have someone that's been at 10x for 5 years and still not made £1 million. It doesn't make a difference because it depends on your journey and what your milestones are. Not everyone has the same starting point. Not everyone has the same luxuries around them or network or whatever it may be. So I think you need to work on your own time frame. Like I don't look at anyone else and think I should be there or that's what I want. I look at them and go, they're doing something right. What can I incorporate that they're doing to my own life? That's the
Exactly.
mindset that I take from success. So I work on my timeline, and everyone should worry about their own timeline, not looking at others and going, "Oh, I should be there because he's my age or younger." Because there's
Mhm.
hundreds of guys in the we'll use the 10x community that are younger than me. They're clearing multi millions every year. Like one of the speakers, Mo, and his girlfriend Bella, they're roundabouts my age, and they've got multi millions. But they've
Right.
worked hard and they've got fantastic success. So I sat down with Mo and Bella for over an hour and just spoke to them about their life, what they've done, and I've incorporated that because they've got a result that I want. I don't look at it and go, "Oh, I'm jealous of that." I look and go, "Do you know what? They've done phenomenal. I can learn from them." And that's the kind of the attitude you need to come in with, and then you'll get there. But everyone's timelines are different.
Exactly. Exactly. Celebrate other people's successes and ask
100%.
them questions. Ask them
Definitely.
questions of how they did that, not what, don't be jealous and say, oh, they're lucky or this or that, because they
Yeah,
put in countless hours to get to that point. Like Mo,
definitely.
we'll use Mo for an example. How many years did he go through to get to that point to be able to sell his company
Yeah,
for 150 million? Like,
yeah.
like,
But he was in tremendous amounts of debts as well before that. Like he had a really hard start.
right,
So if you want to
right,
look at that in that comparison, like it's this goes back to the point. Everyone's story is different, so you can't
different.
compare and get envious because you know what? If you look at Mo when he was in debt, that's not the Mo that's now. But people won't look at that and go, "Oh, but he's a millionaire now." But you don't know everything that
Right,
he's had to go through to
right.
get to that point and the things that he sacrificed to get to there. So
Exactly.
it's about taking that into consideration.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. And it's easy to look at success from the outside and say, oh, I should be there, or it must be lucky, or it must be nice, things like that.
Yeah,
Like not realizing that he put in a decade of his life and
yeah,
countless hours and so much money, and how much
yeah,
stuff did he lose and sacrifice, things like that. So
a hundred
that's,
percent.
yeah. So speaking of sacrifice, have you had to sacrifice or give up anything on your journeys that you've since you started?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you won't get anywhere without sacrifice. Like even me moving to Dubai, I've left my whole family and friends. I've literally just got up and moved to a whole country on my own and left everyone because I'm chasing my version of success. I think that it comes hand in hand with whatever you want to achieve. Like even when I was younger and competing martial arts, I didn't go out drinking, I didn't party, I didn't do anything. I was training every day. I'd wake up, go for a run before school, go to school, train after school, and then my weekends I'd be training. I didn't go out and party till I went to the age of like 18 and I went to uni and then I stopped doing martial arts. You got to sacrifice these things. I've left my whole family at home with all of my friends. I could have just stayed there and been comfortable and just
Right.
chill.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. And they, my mentors, Miriam and Alex, they say it all the time. If you want to change, if you're stuck and you want to change something, then just change your zip code. Just change where you're
Yeah,
at, change your location,
yeah,
get somewhere different, get around different people, and just see what
definitely.
happens. So that's,
Definitely.
it's hard. Like you did a big jump,
Yeah.
to go from UK to Dubai is kind of
It's
a bigger jump, but like
yeah.
it's working for you. Like you're on a trajectory path that is just upward right now, and it's amazing. So
Well,
keep
100%, like the hardest thing is saying goodbye to your parents. Like they're standing in the doorway, you're leaving your child at home, and like your parents are just standing there watching you go. Like
right.
that feeling, like unless you actually do it, people don't
Yeah.
realize like how difficult it really is to actually go, I'm not coming back here for months at a time. Like I'm not gonna see you, like give you a hug for ages. So, and I'm a really big family person. Like I talk to my mum every day, the same as my dad. Like family's a really big thing for me. So like to sit there and go, do you know what? I'm leaving everyone behind, my mum, my dad, my brother, my sister. That's not an easy thing to do, but for where I want to be in life, it's taking these jumps and making these moves that you have to just, take the sacrifice.
Right. Right. Yeah, and it's part of the journey is you just never know where it's going to lead or if it's
Yeah.
the right choice. Like
Yeah.
you don't know until you take that step and either keep stepping up or you fall down and
Definitely.
pick yourself up and do it again. So, what connection do you think there is between failure and success?
You cannot be successful without failure. Like it's just impossible. Unless you win the lottery, there is no way. There is no way that you could ever be successful without failure. Like I think as well, I think people's understanding of failure is different as well. Like what one person may deem as a failure may not deem as other. It's the exact same as success, but everyone has to take a loss in order to take. You have to take one step back to go five forward. Sometimes it's just part and parcel of it. Like it's look. If you look at any big successful person in history, they've had severe, tough upbringing or backstory or challenges. I'm not being funny. How many businesses has Grant Cardone gone through to get to where he's at now? The same as how
Right.
many Apple products was made by Steve Jobs. You could look at Richard Branson. Although he came from wealth, how many times did he get knocked back to be able to then start Virgin? Like you can't
Mm.
have one without the other. Like there's no way because no one's going to get it perfectly right first time. It's like even when you change jobs, like I made so many mistakes when I first started this role, like putting in wrong information or whatever. Like it happens. It's part and parcel of it. You learn, get better, and don't make the same mistakes again.
Right. Right. Yeah. Like I always equate it back to learning to walk as a kid. Like we've all gone through it. So like that brings it home to everybody. Like how many
Yeah,
times did you fall down as a kid only to try to get back up to walk? Like that's
spot
our
on.
life. Like every part of our life is that way. We're learning something new. You fall down, you fail, you don't do it right. You learn from that and you keep growing and get better each time. So
Yeah,
that's
definitely. I think
people.
the only time that it's a failure is if you give up. Like I think it's just all
Exactly.
learning. Like I feel like when people use the term failure, it's always in a negative connotation. Like there's no such thing as failure. As long as you keep trying to learn or better, it's never a failure. It's just a learning. It's just a lesson.
Just a lesson. Never quit. That's the thing. You never lose unless you quit. You know.
Definitely.
So
Yeah. Again, just spot on. Just yeah, I really agree with it.
yeah. So it's I think as a society we're so afraid of that failure, that negative connotation that comes with it,
Yeah,
not realizing that those negative connotations most likely come from people that have given up, that have quit, that don't think that things are possible, but anything's possible. Anything is possible.
of course. I mean, I think sometimes it's just even scary when people don't even try though. Like they look in and just go, "I'm not going to do anything," and like that's even worse. At least try and get knocked back again to say you've had
Right.
at least to give it a go. But I know, like personal friends of mine, like they look at things and just go, "Can't be bothered. It's all right. It's cool. Like we'll just leave it there. Like I'm not going to try anymore. I'm comfortable here. It's good enough, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Finished.
Yep.
Like it done." So I think at least having the minerals, so to speak, to even try is better than just doing absolutely nothing at all.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I totally agree with that. Not even trying, that regret that you'll have later on is
Oh,
far worse than that feeling of you not being successful at that action, So,
definitely.
yeah. So, um, so you've been talking about family. How do you balance your work life while during your pursuit on this success journey?
To be honest with you, I'm gonna say something that's a bit not different. I've heard it from loads of people, but I don't believe in balance of like work, you should have a work life and a personal life, and then this life and that. There should just be balance against all of it. Like, it's your life. Like, business links into family, links into everything. Because if you've got a bad family life, that's going to affect your work life. If you've got a bad work life, that's going to affect your family life. Like, all of these things link together. Like, it's all one thing. So I don't ever think of it as, oh, I've got a business and a work and a family life. It's just all together as one. And the way that I manage it is just being, again, truthful to myself. Like, I know what I can do. I know that some days I won't be able to speak to my parents and give them that phone call that I'd love to do, or even speak to my grandparents or whatever it may be. But it's when you do have them, like, time with them, when you do have them moments, it's making the most of it, because everyone's trying to be successful and doing what they can. It's the same as my friends. I could not speak to my best friend for a whole 2 months, but I know the second I pick up that phone or see him in person, it's not going to change that relationship, that bond, and it'll be the exact same with my family and my parents. It doesn't change because I know that I've got the right people around me. It's when you have negative people or the wrong people around you, that's when it becomes an issue of, why don't you talk to me enough? Why aren't you coming out and drinking with me, or whatever it is? That's when you know you've got the wrong people. But if you're surrounded by the right people, it's not, it will be how it comes. When you talk to them, you talk to them, but you'll have a great time when you speak to them, and then everything balances out. It's only if you've got the wrong people around you is when it becomes problems, and that's when it becomes issues, and that's when it starts affecting the work life. So balance is everything. Like, you need to rest, you need to speak to family, you need to reset, but then you also need to work really hard. So it's just about, I think, being, again, it goes back to the individual, what works for you. Like,
Mhm.
I love talking to my parents every day. That's my little reset. So when I drive home, I know that, oh, I'll call my mum, I'll speak to my dad. That to me brings me so much happiness. So then that's my own reset at the end of every day. I know that I'm going home, I've finished with my day or whatever it may be. And that's then my balance, and that's how I then manage everything else. So that's how I view it, really.
I love that. That's a great way to view it. Is not necessarily setting each one apart, but when you're with that part of it, you give it your full attention. You know, so
Definitely. Yeah,
that's
100%.
that's awesome. So, um, have there ever been any moments on this journey where you felt successful but you weren't recognized for that?
Um, to be honest with you, no, because I'm not worried about other people's recognition. I know where my journey, where I should be and where I shouldn't be. Don't get me wrong. Could I be more successful? Of course I could. Like, do I think I'm behind where I should be? Yeah, I do. Like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend. But it's also important to look at yourself and go, do you know what? I could still be here, or I could still be doing nothing, or I couldn't be investing in 10x or whatever it is you're doing. Again, it's just making sure that whatever you're doing, you're actually happy. Like, I enjoy what I do. I'm happy with everything that I'm doing. Could I always do more? Of course, but you're going to have moments where you're doing a lot more than what you was doing before, and then you're going to have times where it goes down a bit and you're not doing as much as you should be doing. But that's just the reality of life, and I'm not going to sit here and lie to myself saying that I should be working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because I physically can't keep up with that. I will not be the most productive person then. So I'm not going to put myself in that position where I go to a breaking point. So it's controls about balance and what you're happy with your output. Where I'm at right now in my life, I'm on the biggest jump and I'm building from that point. So right now I'm happy with where I'm at, but I know I could be more successful. But that's the motivation to keep on working, bringing more deals, or whatever your life is or goal is or success is. So that should be the fuel to keep you burning to carry on and doing more.
Right, right. So it's all about that end goal, those big goals.
Yeah, of
So,
course.
right, right. So let's go right into that then. How important is goal setting to achieving your success?
Instrumental. Like, you can't succeed because you get you'll get to a point where you don't know why you're doing it. If you don't have the small victories along the way, you lose that motivation to keep on going. Like, if you don't set them barriers for you to keep smashing through along your journey to get the big target, then you'll never get to where you want to. But the key is to always change your goals. Don't list out 5 goals, and then once you've achieved them, you're going to sit there and go, what's next? Like, what am I going to do? And
Hmm.
I'm not sure if you've heard of him. There's this guy called Tommy Mallet. He's from London. He owns a clothing brand, and he gives loads of talks, and he's one of the most realistic people you ever hear when he speaks about business. and he was on a reality show started off called Tary. I listened to one of his podcasts the other day. He was so money orientated that he wanted to make £1 million. That was the goal that he'd set. Once he reached it, he was more depressed than when he was broke because he didn't realize that it's so important to keep on setting goals for yourself after that point and keep on growing with your goals. He was like, I'd lost everyone. He was like, I was so money focused. He was having bad problems with his relationship, friends, and everything because he was so hungry to get to that one point. But because he didn't adjust and move, he got there and was like, what now? Like, the money's in my bank account. What's next? Like, what is next? So for me, it's about always changing, updating. As I get better, my goals should get better. They should get bigger. The same as Grant Cardone. He's a billionaire now. He could have sat 100 million and gone, okay, well, yeah, this is enough. I've hit my goal. I'm chilling now.
Right,
It's
I'm
about
good.
growing. Yeah, so
Right,
I'm good now, but it's about that growth.
right, right. For me, it's goes back to like I have huge goals for money. Like like I want to have a net worth of $100 billion, but I have things that go along with that. I want to be able to house homeless vets. I want to be able to help 2 billion people with financial literacy. I want to, there's things that I want to do with that money to where those
Yeah,
goals are still huge because I want to do bigger things with that. It's not just, oh, I want to make $1 million for me and just
yeah,
whatever. I want that money not for me, for other people to help other people. So, that's
yeah.
a big thing about goals is once you set them, figure out the whys behind it. Why do you want that? What is it that you can do with that
Yeah.
for you, your community, your world, everything like that. So,
Yeah, of course. But then as you start hitting these goals, your goals will then change again because you want to achieve something else. If you've helped 100 people, then it'll go to 1 million, then it'll go to 10 million, then you keep on growing. Like, look how fast the
right.
10x community is growing every day. It's the same
Yep.
principle. You need to grow with your goals, and your goals need to grow with you.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's, because you just don't know what the future holds. You don't know what those goals are going to bring you and that journey is going to bring you, because what you think you may want right now is not what you're going to want 6 months, a year down the road. It may change
Definitely.
because things have changed in life. So,
Definitely.
how do you deal with pressure and expectations? I know you say you don't really look at outside expectations and stuff like that, but internally, how do you deal with the pressure and expectations you put on yourself?
Not very well, to be honest with you, because I hold myself to a really high standard. So it is hard. Like, I'm really tough on myself because it will be a case of that everyone wants to be successful, and a lot of people are very harsh on themselves. But it goes back to self-development and balance. It's about understanding why you're putting that pressure on yourself, or what's the motivation behind it. Is it good intentions? Like, for me, the pressure I put on myself is because I know that I should always be doing more, and motivated to keep on working hard to get to them goals. So for me, the way I manage that is then by doing sports or doing something to then counterbalance that, or even, like, again, self-development, attending a course for 2 days, meeting different people, hearing their story and understanding what they do and how they do it. Like, for me, it's still being productive, but then I take it off as a stress relief. So it's, yeah, like, that's something that I definitely do work on. Like, I'm currently going through a personal development program myself right now through work to help with understand my emotions better, develop more, be able to give better balance, because right now I'm quite unbalanced because I put a lot of pressure on myself, or I'm not, recovering in the right way. I'm not doing the right, eating the right foods or the right exercise or whatever it may be. So it's important to be able to reevaluate and sit back and just go, right, this is what I need to do, or this is where I'm going wrong. Like, I need to correct myself. So that's how you then deal with that. And that's what I'm doing to deal with that self pressure.
Very good. And like we're always going to be hard on ourselves. We're always going to think that we can do more. Because the thing that's worked for me on this, like I'm still hard on myself, but what's worked for me is scheduling my days out, scheduling my weeks out,
Yeah.
so that way I know, okay, I'm going to be doing these types of things at this time. I give myself that avenue for the release, like you do, martial arts, sports, things like that, to get that out. And then just be realistic with that scheduling and just be like, okay, if I don't hit this, something else came up or something, be willing to let yourself have some slack on it as well. But that's one thing that's helped me start to work on that, is to schedule things out even more in advance as possible. So just a
Yeah.
little tool that might help you on that.
No, definitely. Yeah, I've invested in a
Um,
diary and written it out.
there you go. Yeah, journaling helps too, just to get those emotions out and just out of your head is the main thing. Is just get them out, put them on paper, and you can go back and look at them and be like, okay, I remember when I was feeling that way, what caused that, or here's what it
Yeah.
was, or this or that, things like that. So journaling is definitely a good way to help with that as well. What sacrifices or we already kind of went over this, but what other sacrifices or decisions have you made to get to the point of success that you're at now? I know leaving the UK was a big one. What other
Yeah.
things have you?
Doing the whole party thing, like that's a big thing that everyone does. Like at university, it doesn't matter what country you live in. Like, don't get me wrong, I can't sit here and say that I've
Right.
never done it because I definitely have. I have gone to party, but I don't really drink anymore. I don't really go out. Like that was a big sacrifice. Like my friends go out all the time. They go to nice clubs or whatever it is, maybe. But a big sacrifice was not doing that all the time. Was not going out and doing these things because I knew that I had to be up for training or I had accountability because I made commitments to do other things. Like before I moved out to Dubai for the last 6 months, I was teaching martial arts to children every Saturday and every Tuesday night. I couldn't go out on a Friday night, go get drunk off my face and turn up hungover because that's not fair. Like my accountability is to turn up to be able to perform to help teach these guys. So for me, it's about the biggest sacrifice that I made wasn't going out all the time, wasn't doing the same things as everyone else because it wouldn't get me to the goals where I wanted to be, and that was a big thing. Like you have to make these sacrifices. If you can't go on all of the group holidays or the lads holidays or go out partying all the time drinking because ultimately when you're drinking that much alcohol you're just destroying yourself and then it takes a whole day to recover, being hungover in bed, dying, feeling horrible the next day, so then just to catch back up again, so then go and do whatever else. So a big part of it
Right.
was missing out on the big events, not going on holidays or whatever it is.
Yeah. That is a big sacrifice, especially being so young. That's it's part of your networking as a young
Yeah,
adult, young kid. Like you go through those stages because that helps you to network, that helps you to meet people, even if it's
yeah,
people that you never want to talk to again. Like
yeah,
you learn those personalities and stuff like that, but you're learning those a different way. That's
yeah.
it's there's nothing wrong with that. Like those sacrifices are putting you in the position you're in now. Being in your 20s and working on personal development is very, very unheard of. Like you see it in the 10x community that you're getting involved in now. Like there's young people there, but usually in 30s is where people start on this journey that you're on. So it's definitely hats off to you. It's definitely
Thank you.
good. So,
Thank you.
uh, what are some habits or practices, strategies, milestones that you've used to help significantly on your success journey?
I think a big part before coming out to Dubai and living in the UAE was the big goal. It was right reaching here, and it goes back to adjusting your goals. Like for me, I knew for a long time that the vision was to move to Dubai to find a new career because I was working in the corporate city in London for a really like multi-billion-pound tech firm, and I could have just stayed there. But the goal was to break away from that. So my goals leading up to coming here was to think, right, I need to find a new job. I need to save money to be able to afford to live in Dubai, to buy all of these things, to actually be able to move out here and to do all of these things. So like for me, the biggest milestones that I was setting was, preparing to come to here, leaving my family, leaving my friends, stop drinking, stop going out, stop doing all of these things. But then using the money that I take to invest in events like 10x to, meet better people, network and learn, just further develop and invest in my own personal development. So my milestones are based on what I want for myself. So I want to get better. Right, I need to go to a 10x event to meet people, to network, and just develop. So I set my milestones in line with what I want to achieve. So how am I going to get there? I'm going to do it by attending courses, by reading books, by going to certain events, or going to golf days and networking with people there and meeting people who are wealthier than I am. Because that's where I want to be. So you want to surround yourself with that. So it's like tomorrow I'm going to a golf event to go and meet people and meet wealthy guys who live in the UAE and the Middle East, because it's where money is. You've got to follow where it is. And my habits are going to mirror that. Like my CEO at my company now, he plays golf. He's met some of the biggest clients through going to events like this. Okay, so right, golf must be where wealthy people play. Then right, let's channel some energy and get better and develop to that. That's one milestone that I can hit towards that route of life, and that's all I'm doing is using these different avenues to hit where I want, and that's how I build out my milestones, my goals, and whatever it may be.
Nice. That's a great way to do it too. Is figure out where you want to be, do reverse engineering, and figure out what steps it's going to take to get there, and just keep doing that. So I like that. It's a great way to look at milestones. Is that way. So, have you ever faced any like self doubt or imposter syndrome while you've been doing all this?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like without a doubt, I think if anyone says they've been successful or trying to be successful and they don't have them moments, then cool, you must be a miracle. Because yeah, like I think even sitting in the room at the 10x event, like I kind of sat here and was like, I'm in Dubai in this beautiful country. I'm just literally around people that are worth multi millions and plus. Like I don't deserve to be here. Like I paid $500 for a ticket. Like oh my god, like I shouldn't really be in this room just yet. Or meeting people like yourselves who've created big businesses, and it's like, wow, like should I really be here? But then you kind of remember, and you sit yourself like, I've worked hard to get here. I've paid my ticket. I've paid my way. I'm growing to get better. So I think it's just working within your reality and not getting too caught up in it. So I try not to think about it. But I've had it so many times. Like I remember being in London a year ago, looking at Dubai, going, oh my god, on social media, this place is unbelievable. And like when you're here and you're going out for dinner or walking around, you're like, wow, this is where I live. Like it's just amazing. Like I'm so fortunate and blessed to be here. And then you kind of almost feel guilty a little bit, but it's the path that I've led and I've worked hard and make these sacrifices to get here. So it's just the start of it. But yeah, I've definitely felt that 100%.
Yeah, yeah. It's anybody that says they haven't, they're lying.
Yeah,
It's a daily struggle. Like there's times that you'll go through it daily. It may not even be about work. It may be about something completely different, and you'll be like, oh, there's no way. That's not possible. I can't do that. And that's all it is. It's just
yeah,
if you believe it, you can. If you don't believe it, you won't happen. That's
that's it.
it.
Yeah.
Um, what what do you do to celebrate the successes, the little milestones, the journey that you're on? What rituals or practices do you do to acknowledge that?
I mean, like I've got a few in place that I want to achieve, but to be honest with you, like in a weird way, I kind of like just take time to go out on my own and just sit down and reflect. Like I just look at where I was. Like it's just little things for me that make a big difference. Like I was out, I literally went to dinner on my own and I was just sitting there and I was kind of thinking, like reflecting, where I was a year ago, where I am now. Like I've done well, or like even talking to friends and just bouncing ideas off of talking to family and just taking the moments to sit back. Because every time I do that and I talk about what I'm doing, I kind of then have a small reflection of myself going, oh wow, like, this is where I'm at, this is what I'm doing. But then I've got big goals. Like when I close my first ever really big deal that's worth a lot of money and I make 10 grand in one deal or whatever it is, my reward for that is flying my family out to Dubai. Like that is my first big milestone that I want to be able to do, is to go, do you know what? I have done well enough. I want to celebrate this and bring my family to here and let them come cost free, not let them worry about paying for anything. So that's the big milestone that I'm waiting
Mm.
for to mark my success. But other than that, like after the 10x event, I just sat there and went through my notes and was like, wow, look at this is the stuff that I took away. Like these are the things that I've learned. This is how I better myself. I do it in small doses and then I want to achieve one big thing, and that's flying my family out here and celebrating with them and having them here with me.
There you go. There you go. Yep. Those, and that's a big one. That's a big celebration, and rightfully so, because you've put in all the work that you've done to get to that point, then you're going to get that big deal. You'll close out a client because again, you've put in that work, you've put in the energy, the time to be able to have a transaction with a client that is
Yeah.
substantial like that. So that's awesome. Keep it up. I look forward to watching that journey. It's awesome. So um what let's do this final question here. What advice would you give to somebody that's just getting started on their journey towards success?
Just do it. Just do it. Like, don't think, just literally commit and then worry about the rest later on. Like, everyone's going to go through difficult times. There's no right or wrong. Like, just get involved. Like, and I think as well, don't be scared to ask for advice or opinions. Like, for me, I think one of my biggest assets that I have, I'm not afraid to look silly by asking a question. If I don't know, I don't know, and you don't know what you don't know. So
Right,
ask questions. If you can admire someone or look at someone and go, I respect where they are, ask them. Like, that's the best bit of advice I can give is just do it. Just go and just do it and just try to get involved as much as possible and
right,
emulate what you want to be. Like, for example, there were so many goals, and I'll use a good one, Mo. I look at Mo and I go, do you know what? He has achieved so much. That's where I want to be. Like, I'm not afraid to say that because Mo's a phenomenal guy. Like, he's worked hard. He's worked with his partner. He's done this amazing stuff. So I went and asked him, okay, what did you do to be successful? Like, what was the things that you done right? Just ask. Like, there's no harm in asking because what's the worst that happens? They either say no and you have to ask someone else, or they tell you. So don't be
right.
afraid to go and ask these questions and find out because it will save you so much time in the long run than being stubborn and going, I can do it all by myself. You need people
Mm,
around you. You need a great team. And if
right,
you can level up whilst leveling other people up, you will all be successful quicker. So get involved and ask the right questions because you just don't know what you're going to find out.
right. That is very true. That is very true. Why go through those mistakes on your own when somebody's already gone through it and they can save you those extra steps right there. So
100%. I mean,
ask the
it's
right
what
question.
it's what I think about as the whole 10x community. If you look at Grant, look at all of the things that he even says in his book. He's been
Mm,
broke, even chasing Elena. He got rejected like 10 times. But he just kept on asking the questions. He kept on trying to figure out. It's
right,
the whole point of the 10x community is to work together to ask the right questions.
right.
Just ask. I think that's the biggest thing.
Yep. Yeah. There's people out there that want to help you as long as you ask the right questions. That's it. So
Definitely. I mean, we wouldn't be doing this interview if I didn't ask and we didn't have these conversations and you didn't
right,
ask me to come on here. You know, like
right.
this wouldn't be happening. So yeah, I'm
Right.
a firm believer in
Exactly. Exactly. So, all right, sir. I appreciate you taking the time. Is there anything that you'd like to tell the viewers about your company, the place you work, Dubai, you personally? Anything? Any final thoughts? Any contact information if they need to get in contact with you? Anything like that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, please find me on LinkedIn. My name's Osman Tary, Osmantary. Check me on LinkedIn. My company's called Vorto Trading. We help guys all over the world with transacting money into cryptocurrency and any currency as well. And yeah, got a nice little hat here to represent the Vorto badge. So yeah, please check us out. But aside from that, I think the biggest thing is if you do listen to these podcasts, keep pushing, keep working hard, and just invest in yourself. Like, that's the best thing you can ever do. Believe and just keep working towards it. Like, listen, no one's got the right plan or the right steps, but all it takes is you just to start the journey. If you can at least start, then you're on the right tracks. And just don't worry about what everyone else is doing because social media is a very dangerous thing. Just enjoy yourself, work hard, and keep yourself to your own standards, and you'll be fine.
That's it. I love that. It's a great way to look at it. So,
Yeah.
well, thank you, sir. I definitely appreciate you coming on here and doing this interview. And I definitely look forward to chatting a little bit more in the future here.
Definitely. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure to be, taking part of this. And thank you again. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Absolutely.